up, you beautiful collectors and Transformer fans? Once again, it's the one and only Optibotimus coming at you with another video review. And on today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers Buzzworthy Bumblebee Troop Builder Multipack. As this is a Buzzworthy Bumblebee set, as far as I know, here in North America, this is exclusive to Target stores. Although, I have seen some other Buzzworthy Bumblebee figures kind of go to places like Big Bad Toy Store and such, so maybe it's only kind of like a timed sort of exclusive. But as I mentioned, this is a Troop Builder pack, and a really cool way of doing this. A lot of people love Troop Builders, which, to a degree, I do as well if it's kind of warranted. Half of this set I'm really excited about, but the other half, not so much. And truthfully, I'll probably only keep the two that I really enjoy. For all of them, you get a Animated Universe Auto Trooper, which is really cool. It's a nice kind of throwback to the Transformers animated series and Auto Trooper that we got with, I forgot what year it was, but it was a BotCon exclusive. So it's kind of cool to get another one of those. Another one I don't really care too much about, but the G2 Universe Cybertronian Trooper. The Cybertronian Trooper was kind of like a servant, I guess, of G-Axis. I don't know. I never really paid that much attention to it. G2 was not something I was really all that interested in. But now we get to the ones that I like. The Quintesson Trooper, which we did get one of those before with that San Diego Comic-Con Pit of Judgment set or something like that. But the coloring was a little bit off, and then it was hard to get, so this is a cool way to kind of get one and add it. And then the other one is a Decepticon Seeker, which, truthfully, that is one of the ones that I'm most interested in. These two right here, even though that the Decepticon Seekers were kind of all over the place, some got names like the Rainmakers and things like that, but there were also some that just, depending on kind of the lighting, the coloring of the cell. Also, if you got like a Shout Factory version of the DVD or the Rhino version of the DVD, the colors changed all the time. So this gives us one that kind of fits with that, and I like having Seekers. I got a bunch of them. And I also really like the art. It looks really cool. Obviously, you got that yellow Buzzworthy Bumblebee style package. But the other thing that's really neat is there are alternate heads for these guys. So you can really kind of swap things out and mix and match and really kind of do that whole army building sort of thing, which is really, really neat. Come around to the back and you can see actual product shots of them. And then you can see some of the alternate heads, like, for example, the Auto Trooper here with the two different heads here. Same thing here with the Cybertronian Trooper. Same thing here with the Quintesson Trooper. The only one that doesn't have one is the Voyager figure, that being this guy who doesn't really, well, none of them really have names. But I guess that makes sense because these are deluxe figures and things like that, and you can have some go with that. But with the Voyager figure, you got the higher price point, so it kind of makes sense. But for the packaging on these guys, that's about it. So without further ado, let's get them out here and see how cool they actually are. And here we have the new Troop Builder set from the Buzzworthy Bumblebee line open up out of their packaging and obviously in their alternate modes. Starting off first with the Auto Trooper, as you can see, primarily he is a repaint of that Transformers Siege Ironhide / Ratchet. But definitely in a more Auto Trooper kind of look with the white and the black. Pretty much everything is identical that we got before. You do get the weapon. I don't know why I had it on there backwards. But you have that gun. That can also be a hammer. Still molded in this black plastic, which, you know, for the most part looks pretty good. He also does have the two different heads. I'll focus on that here a little bit more in the actual robot mode. But I like it. The colors look good. You got this really nice kind of almost teal look on there, which matches very nicely with the front windshield there. I like that. You also have a nice Autobot logo there. This is the only Autobot in this whole set now that I'm thinking about it. Well, like I said, I don't really know much about like that G2 G-Axis or however you say that sort of thing. So I don't know if this guy's meant to be an Autobot either. But the Alicon Trooper, that was like Quintesson sort of thing. So he's not really an Autobot or a Decepticon, and obviously the Seeker is a Decepticon. So I don't know. Overall, though, I mean, I do like the way that it looks. If you know the mold, you know what you're getting with it. Nothing really changes too terribly much here in the vehicle mode, although the white and black does look really good. very clean looking, which I dig very much. In terms of the Cybertronian Trooper, this is a mold that I never really cared much about. That Skullgrin figure, just, it was very meh, in my opinion, and the transformation is identical on this. There is more remolded parts in this guy, but in general, though, this has just never been something that I've been overly impressed with, so repainting them and giving them the alternate heads, which I do have both of the heads here. I don't know why I have both of them, but you got the two different heads, which are kind of cool. Again, I'll focus on that more here in the actual robot mode, but just the mold I've always been meh about, and then Skullgrin, at least I cared a little bit more as a character, but this one, yeah, not really much, honestly, at all. The colors do look nice, I will say that. The gray with this kind of greenish color look really good. The white that has on, that's on the blade weapons, and then the little extra bits looks good as well. I just, like I said, I never really cared much for this. It just, this is 100% meh. If I were to get rid of any of these figures, obviously, like I said, the Auto Trooper and this one are ones that I am not keeping. This is the one that, if I was a little on the fence about that guy, 100% I would get rid of this one. I just don't have any interest in having this mold again, and then just the character, just don't care much about. Coming to the Alicon Trooper, or a Quintesson Trooper, or what actually do they call him? I don't remember, right? They threw the box away. But this I actually do like. It is a repaint of what we got with that Pit of Judgment set, which I do have, and I'm going to bring out as many as I can to do comparisons. I don't have that mold anymore, but you know, you'll kind of get the idea. I like this guy. Is it perfect? No. I mean, like, the arms just dangle here in the back. He's got these little tiny ones here, which, you know, I mean, again, all of these you know what to expect. He does come with his alternate, or his double-bladed axe thing, and then the mace thing that you can take here, and you can just plug that into his back. Maybe. Come on, get in there. There you go. So you do have the weapon storage there. You can open his mouth. The paint on this guy is really very nice. And like I said, a little bit more accurate than what we saw with that initial release. And it does have more of a cartoon vibe to it. So I do like this guy a lot. But again, same type of mold. Nothing really changes. With this, you do get the alternate head, which you have this one and then the other one that's on there, which I think that, because they released two versions, like they did the Alicon and then the like Guard or something like that, and that's where both of these heads kind of come from. So they include both of them, which is cool. I really like the metallic teal that's going around the edge of his head. That's really cool. But again, we'll focus on the head sculpts here in a little bit. And then for the Seeker, this one, like I said, a lot of them, it just kind of depended on what you were looking at. This one doesn't have a name. He doesn't really have any kind of real place, other than the fact that there was a version of him that was kind of purplish blue. I mean, because you can kind of see that he's not really a Skywarp purple or Thundercracker blue. He's kind of a mix in between them, and I like it. And we did see a Seeker like this in one scene. So again, it kind of makes sense that they're going to repaint it. I do hope that we get some other ones. I know we are getting the Ghost one, Starscream, which I'm really excited about. But this still does look really very nice and will nicely add to my army of Seekers, which I really do appreciate. Like, both of these, I'm really happy to have. Those, but again, basically the same type of thing. There's no remolding on this, to my knowledge whatsoever. Nice silver bits on here. Got some black elements that really do have kind of that like Skywarp kind of look, but again, not. So really, very, very nice set. For me, it is a 50-50 kind of set. Is that a bad thing? No, not necessarily. But I know there are a lot of fans out there that really love animated. I love animated as well. Animated is probably my, like, if I were to rank them, like, Beast Wars and animated are like my two top favorite series. So the Auto Trooper is really kind of cool, but I don't really care all that much, you know, to have one of those in my collection. And then the Cybertronian Trooper here, I definitely don't care. But vehicle mode and alt mode wise, that's what you have. They look good. They do a good job of giving you a slightly different look for a lot of these kind of characters that allows you to troop build and have a slightly different kind of look amongst all of them. So I'm, in general, pleased with the set. At least here in terms of vehicle modes. But because we have seen the transformation on all of these numerous times, I am going to go ahead and skip it. But obviously, if you need any help with any of them, I do have playlists that are available. Or you could just do a search for the original figures and get any help that you might need. But utilizing that good old-fashioned Optibotimus movie magic, we're going to go from the troopers looking like this to looking like this. And again, starting off first with the Auto Trooper, I do not have that Siege, Ratchet, or Ironhide anymore to compare it to. But for the most part, I feel like it's the same. I don't really think that they changed too terribly much in terms of the mold on them. It just seems the same. There might be minor changes, but realistically, I can't pick any. The biggest one is obviously going to be the head here, which does look really cool. I like it. You got like that little kind of goggle thing at the top. The other head here looks good as well. Honestly, though, I do like this one more. The Auto Trooper was, as I mentioned, an animated, but also I want to say like a G1 subline. I don't remember what it is, but I feel like this head is meant to homage that, whereas this one is meant to homage the animated series. Overall, though, to swap it, literally what you do is you come around here to the back, and it shifts forward. You can see that you got this little sliding thing here. It's kind of tricky to do, honestly. At least this one's really tight. You just kind of pull that off. It's a little bit easier if you rotate it around, and then just take this, and then move that forward, and now you have that new head on there, which, again, that one looks fine. I just, honestly, I really prefer, come on, there we go. I really prefer this one, mostly because of the eye coloring. I think that the eyes with that kind of teal look looks really good with like the window and the little added bits there. I mean, in general, I just feel like it fits a little bit better, but I do really like the way that this guy looks. I just, again, I don't really have, you kind of are getting animated figures with the Legacy Evolution figures and such, and I mean, we got a couple, and we're getting more with like Bumblebee and Optimus Prime and stuff. So I guess, you could have a space for him. It doesn't bother me that much. The weapon here, you can store vehicle mode, and you can see that the head just basically sits there. So there's the Auto Trooper. Now coming to the Cybertronian Trooper, again, not the biggest fan of it, but there's a lot more remolded parts on here. But one of the problems is still on here, at least this, in terms of having these detach fairly easily. I have unfortunately lost the one for Skullgrin, which I believe Morgan probably has gotten a hold of it. But in terms of the sculpting, so see, that's probably what happened with it. So put that in there. Yeah, there we go. But there is some more remolded parts on him. Obviously the head, which we'll take a look at here in a second, but like the crotch piece is the same, the legs are the same, the arms are the same, but they actually gave him a different chest, which is nice. I do appreciate that. That's kind of cool. It definitely separates him in terms of the overall look, but you got this goofy giant skull head on here. This one's definitely goofy too. I feel like that is really big and kind of silly, and these kind of getting in the way kind of. Okay, I'm going to rotate those around. That just looks really big and weird. Now, he does come with this one. Let me zoom in so we can take a look at that. So you got that guy there, and you have that one, which looks like something from Lord of the Rings, honestly. But again, it's the same type of thing where you can slide that forward and then take this guy and slide that right on. No, maybe. Oh wait, maybe rotate that around. it's supposed to go like that. Come on. It's a head. Why is it so difficult? Am I sliding that on there wrong? Oh, sweet baby Jesus. Sweet baby Jesus. There we go. That one looks a little bit better, I think, than this one does. Mostly because you got this green coloring that kind of matches with the rest of them. Again, the eyes look really cool on there, but I like the overall look on that one a little bit more. But you have options. If you get a couple of these, you know, obviously you can mix and match and such. But for the most part, like I said, I don't really care that much for the mold on this guy. The weapons are the same and everything. It's just not a mold that I really enjoy all that much, and it's a character that I even care less about than this guy. So this is definitely one that I am more indifferent about and just don't really care. But I do think that the colors look good with that particular head on there. I do like that overall aesthetic a little bit more. Now, for the Quintesson actual trooper itself, setting these guys off to the back, like I talked about, the coloring on all of these are all slightly different, which I do really like. But you do get two heads here, spinning this around. You get this one that's currently on them, where it's kind of this little... I forgot which one was the regular one and which one was the Comic-Con exclusive. But you can see you got the two different heads here. That's because they created two different heads. Remember this one? I think this was the one that came with the Comic-Con set, because this has the more reflective paint and everything. I'm trying to... I honestly, I don't really remember. But you can see that this head sculpt is the same one that's currently on them. So you have that guy. But you also have this dude, which has this head sculpt, which is more resembling the one that we have here. So, again, you have a lot of different options here, which I really like. And you can see that the coloring here looks really good, very accurate. This one was fairly accurate as well. The one that came with this guy definitely really isn't all that accurate in terms of the look in the animated movie or anything. These two here have a little bit more of a accurate look. But again, you can see that there are slight differences between all of them, which I like, because it does give some individuality to what are otherwise basically just clones of each other. And I mean, you can see that this one here is more based, obviously, off of this one, because you got these big giant spikes, which this guy didn't have. You can see that the slight remolded bits and everything like that are there. So this guy does have more of a resemblance to this one. And again, if you really wanted to, the head just... I want to say, this one's just a ball joint. Yeah, this is just a ball joint. So you just kind of pull this one off like that. And I like how you got that metallic blue down there as well. I kind of like this head a little bit more. So I'm gonna take that and just... I'll pop that on there. Yeah, see, I like that. I really think that looks cool. These guys definitely have a very unique look to them with that head, and then having kind of like that fin there. And then this guy kind of being like, you know, maybe the one that's in charge or something like that. Slightly different look, darker color. I love that. That's just super fun. And like I said, gives you some individuality between all of them. And then getting this guy in the back. And then when you come to the Seeker, again, he's kind of a bluish purple color, and you're going to really see the difference when I bring the other ones out. Here is obviously Thundercracker, so you can see that he's got this very nice bluish color to him, and you can really see the slight difference between the two. And I got so much stuff hanging out here. And then for Skywarp, you can see there's a lot more black, and then the purple is a lot darker, obviously. So while it might have been harder to kind of tell the different coloration that he was initially, now you can really see it when you bring these other guys out. And again, like I said, depending on what version of the G1 series you're watching, whether it be in the newer Shout Factory one, the older Rhino series, television episodes, whatever the case may be, there was always all sorts of slightly different colors between all the different Seekers. So having this, again, is really very fun, at least for me. Being able to have kind of ton of these is just really very, very cool. But like I said, you can really see the subtle change in the coloring between Thundercracker, Skywarp, and of course this no-name guy who I'm gonna name him Adam. That sounds appropriate. But I mean, the set, I do like the set. You are getting a pretty good value for it when you consider that you're getting 3 deluxe figures here, 1 Voyager, and 3 out of the 4 of them coming with alternate heads, which I think is a really cool way of setting this set apart. The Seekers don't really need to have different heads. Honestly, they didn't really have different heads other than the cone heads for the most part. So you don't really need to have one with this guy. But it is a good set. I am pleased with it. And let's see, I kind of like leaving these arms down. I would probably say, as I talked about several times already in this video, the ones that I am most interested in are these 2. It's not that these 2 are bad. The Auto Trooper is probably my next favorite. The Cybertronic Trooper, he just looks weird. I don't like that mold. I was never a fan of it. The character just kind of is meh. So, obviously I'm going to gravitate towards these guys, but I still think that the value is still really good. When I picked this up, I want to say that it was like $70, which 25, that's 50. You got another $25 figure, that's $75 right there. And then you add in a Voyager. Realistically, this is about $100 worth of figures, and it's only about $70, like I said. So I'm okay with it. I think that it's pretty decent. If these figures are ones that you would like to add to your collection, as I did mention, at least right now, these are exclusive to Target stores as part of the Buzzworthy Bumblebee line. But they are out there, so if you are looking for them, good luck and happy hunting. But there you go, guys. There's my look at the new Transformers Buzzworthy Bumblebee Troop Builder Pack, I guess. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to please hit that like button, as well as make sure that you're subscribed and getting all those sorts of notifications. If you'd like to take your support a little bit further than that, and you have a few extra bucks that you would like to help the channel with, consider becoming an Optibotimus Plus channel member. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. Once again, I want to thank you all so much for tuning in and watching. And until next time, this is Optibotimus saying adios, au revoir, and auf Wiedersehen.